hello. How are you, my friends? Lovely to see you. I see that Kirsty is here. And where's my mouse? I'll grab my mouse, need that. Kirsty is here. And Jim is here. And Grizzly is here. Thank you all for being here. It's lovely to have you. Well, it is a Saturday morning. Mental Raccoon Glass, welcome in. That is Justin from Mental Raccoon Glass. How are you, my friend? Lovely to see you. I was busy watching you making some more of your little creations the other day. Glenn, welcome in, Glenn. It's lovely to see you here. I hope you're having a lovely Friday. Is everyone having a lovely Friday? I think everyone who's in the chat is here from the Northern Hemisphere, so you're all going to be having a Friday at the moment. It's Saturday here where I am. Nice to see you as always, says Justin. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Liked. Thank you very much. It's always nice to get a few likes, isn't it? So how has everyone's Friday been going? Have you been having a good day? James Schulenberg says, I will be riding my motorcycle. Hang on. I will be riding my motorcycle, so I will be listening but unable to respond. Oh, that sounds exciting. Where are you off to? I didn't know you rode a motorcycle. That's something new. Oh, hello, Fudge. Hello. Yes. Many years ago, oh good, you're attached. Come on, off you get. Off. Where does it go? All right. Many years ago, I actually did get my learners so I could ride a motorcycle, but I never actually ended up getting the license. Like I never went for the test. I bought a bike. It wasn't working, and I brought it up here to the farm, and it was my plan to sort of learn how to pull it apart and put it back together and get my license and all that sort of thing. And I did all the pulling apart, and sadly that's about as far as I got. And then it sat there for a couple of years, and in the end I passed it on to a neighbour who also wanted to build a bike and learn how to ride it. So the thought was there, James, but I never got beyond the thought, unfortunately. But I hope you have a lovely time riding. Where are you off to? Where are you off to? Miss M. Miss M is here as well. Everyone is saying hello to everyone else. Let me see. Yes, I've seen that. James, yes. Miss M. Are you well, Miss M? I hope you're having a better day, because I know I saw you yesterday on a live. I think it was on Dora's live, and you were saying, or it might even have been Kathleen's. It was Kathleen's. And you were saying that you weren't having a very good day, Miss M. So I do hope that your day is improving. Ginger Nuts. Hello there, my dear. Welcome in. How are we today? Well, what are we going to do today on this live? Everyone's saying hello to Ginger Nuts. It's lovely to have you here. It's lovely to have you all here. Oh, Kirsty. Kirsty is very kindly putting up people's links. Thank you so very much. Anthony Chihuahua. Hang on. I'm going to have to, the chat's going fast. Anthony Chihuahua says, hello, Susan, and hi, country in Australia. Just a friendly subscriber here, wishing you well and looking forward to this cookie recipe. Well, thank you. Yes, I do make this one several times a year. James says, I have 4 Honda Goldwings, all the same style and colour, different years. 96, 98, 99 and 2000. Out for dinner and now a return trip home from Jim in Central Florida. Wow. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. And I hope you had a lovely dinner. That would be nice. Yeah, it's nice to go out though sometimes, isn't it? Just with something a bit different. Miss M says she's doing good. Anthony Chihuahua is saying hello to everyone. Glenn is saying hello to everyone. Kirsty's madly putting up links for people. She's such a good girl. Thank you, Kirsty. You know what I always wanted, Jim? I really like, because I don't know, you've been here in a few of the lives, and you know I sort of like antique-y, vintagey type things. And I always wanted to get an Indian motorcycle, an older one, of course, something with a bit of character. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the new bikes, but I thought, you know, if I was going to ride a bike, it would be nice to have an old Indian. But no, look, I don't have the confidence required to ride a motorcycle. So I think it would be safer for me and everyone else if I didn't do that. But it was a nice dream. And I mean, we are talking a while ago, I was sort of younger and more gung-ho then, and more willing to sort of take a risk. As you get older, you sort of, your willingness to take risks sort of decreases somewhat. But hey, it happens. Joy, welcome in. I'm just waiting a few minutes here for people to come in. Joy is here. Thank you very much, Joy. It's lovely to see you. Oh, based off of 1950s. That is 50s, isn't it? Yes, 1950s look. Well, that's good. Yeah. Oh, that would be nice. I think I have seen some Honda Goldwings. I have seen them not in real life, but on another person's channel, and they're over in the UK. And I'm quite certain it was only like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they were going through their garage and showing all their various motorcycles. And I'm sure that they were all Honda Goldwings, but of different eras. So probably similar to what you have with your little collection there. But yeah, they were lovely looking bikes. I'm sure they were Honda Goldwings. I'm going to have to go back now and watch the video just to be certain. So today is our Saturday around the kitchen table live, where we just sort of potter inside, because I've had enough of having to wander around outside for a week, and it's nice. It's a nice way to ease into the weekend. And originally they were forecasting snow here, and I mean, it's still quite early in the morning. It's like 9:34, 9:35. So it may snow maybe later tonight, overnight. It certainly hasn't happened yet though, so a little bit disappointing, but that's okay. It was certainly cold enough. When I got up this morning, it was 1 degree Celsius outside, which is like almost the perfect temperature for getting snow. But then the sun came out and things are warming up a little bit. So we've got no snow, but we do have the wood stove going as promised, because it's still fairly chilly. And you know, the wood stove's going basically just to take the chill out of the air. It's lovely and cozy in here in the house, just with the stove, not with the really big fire going. And you know, I've got my beanie and my jumper, and everything's nice and cozy. But I thought, if the stove's going to be going, we may as well utilize it and make something. So I was going to make biscuits, as you probably figured out from the thumbnail. Thank you, Miss M. Yes, it is a nice jumper, isn't it? I like this one. And it's nice and thick too. So, and of course, when it's cold and I want to be warm, what I want is a nice thick jumper. So the recipe that we're making, thank you, Kirsty. It's lovely. It was a present to me from my daughter. She did a little order on Shein, and it's like an early birthday present because it's like my birthday in next month sometime. And she needed a few things and she ordered this for me as well. So yeah, very happy with it. It's its first outing today. So yes. So we have the wood stove on, and I thought we should make some biscuits or cookies, depending on what side of the world you're on. Now, this recipe that we're doing today is honey coconut biscuits. Now, I love these biscuits. I don't make them, I make them 2 or 3 times a year probably. And quite often I'll make them in a big batch and I'll put them in the freezer. If I have them out, I just keep eating. And I need to slow down the eating, you know. So I usually have a few and then I put them in little, almost like meat trays, like a meat tray size plastic container. Put them in put the whole thing in a bag, bung them in the freezer. And if I know someone's coming over, I can take them out of the freezer and I put them in the griller. And they, because they're quite small, because of course they're a biscuit, they defrost incredibly quickly, like literally a minute under the griller, and they've defrosted. The whole house smells like you've just cooked these things, and they're nice and they're soft and they're warm and they're, so I find that's a good way to do my biscuits, is that I batch cook them and then freeze them in little, you know, little containers of 6, 8, 10 or 12, depending on my mood at the time. And when people are coming up, I can put them in the griller. Or now you have another name for a griller, don't you, over there? What do you call it? But anyway, and yeah, they just heat through so quickly, and it's wonderful. And you can pretend that you've made them straight away, especially for your visitors who have just rocked up unannounced. So that impresses them and it makes you look good. And it stops you from eating them all the time, which is also very important. So today we are making, now this is probably going to be backwards, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's backwards. We are making these, which are honey coconut biscuits. So let me just have a quick catch up on the chat and we should make a move. Now there's Joy. Custom screen printing. Welcome in, Wayne. It's lovely to see you. I just came in to give you a thumbs up, my friend. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that very much. Ace is here. Welcome in, my friend. Lovely to see you also. All right, shall we do this? Now, what do I need? I need butter. So we've got butter there. We're going to need half a cup of sugar, yada, yada, yada. Okay, we're going to need the blender for this one. Oh. Get the blender out. What am I saying? It's not a blender, it's a mixer. Oh, honestly. I do hope I'm not getting Alzheimer's or something. Now, you're not plugged in, are you? Always helps if you have it plugged in. So unplug that. Plug that in. These are all my bits and pieces for the mixer. I keep them all in a bag just in case. Keeps them cleaner too, you know. I think we might use that one today. That's a bread hook. I've never actually made any bread dough in the mixer before. I should probably do that one day, just for a bit of an experiment. Don't you think? There's nothing wrong with a bit of experimentation every so often. All right, so what do we need? We are going to need coconut honey and self-raising flour. Right, let me get it. So, desiccated coconut. This is a pot of honey. There's a guy down the road. He has his own beehives, and so I get my honey from him. So we have honey. Self-raising flour, and there's something else too, but I should, sugar, yes, sugar. All right, self-raising flour we have. I'll need to top that up with more. How much sugar are we going to need? Oh, that's fine. That should be half a cup. I do have plenty more. I've got it in big bins in the pantry. And I fill all the containers up from the big bins. I do have honey. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, I do. All right, let's get these out of the way. Put those over here. Oh, now I've got to show you this. We're getting way off track here. Can you see that? That is a wing of a cicada. Now, the reason I'm showing you that is because it was just sitting on the bench. And when we find these little cicada wings quite often around the property at various times of the year. And when we do, I collect them, or I used to collect them. And when my kids were little, like really little, and you know, you read stories, and there was this one fairy story that my mother read to me when I was little. And I don't have that book anymore, but it was basically a story, and it's always stayed with me. It was a story about a person who had helped save the life of a fairy. And this fairy, because it was so grateful, it gave one of its wings, and clearly the wings would grow back. That was the idea. So, but this fairy, his life had been saved by this person, and he was so grateful. I think it was a he, and he sacrificed one of his wings and gave it to the person and said, in return for your help to me, if ever you need me, take this wing and call me, and I will come to your aid. And that always stuck with me. And it was a story that I used to tell my children. And, you know, not necessarily the same story. I just sort of, well, no pun intended, I winged it, I made it up. But that was the premise of the story. And I used to show my children these little cicada wings and say, look, and when they go, there's no such thing as fairies, Mum. Fairies don't exist. Look, I know they do. Look, and I can prove it to you. And that's how I'd prove it, was by showing them this cicada wings. And they are just so beautiful. They've got lovely colours too, if you can get them in the right light. So if you've got kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews or the kids next door and you see cicada wings, grab them, because they make a great part of a story, you know, really does. Anyway, way off on a tangent there. So sorry. I'm very easily distracted. Very easily distracted. And I've lost my, there we go. So, where are we? What do we think of maybe make a wish? Yes. Well, I certainly have plenty of things I could wish for. You know, new solar system, that would be nice. Beautiful, says Joy. Nature is such an artist. Yeah, no, that's right, Anthony Chihuahua. We'd make a wish on them. It's a nice story though too, isn't it? Oh, sweet kiddos need to enjoy. They do. They really do. And I think anything that adds to the overall story, like a cicada wing, like sometimes you just find things in nature that would really add to a story or to some element of wonder in a child. And I think it's always worth collecting that little thing. Anything that can make someone grow up with more joy and more wonder in their life has got to be worthwhile, don't you reckon? Anyway, what are we doing? Cream, butter and sugar. All right, we've got to get on with this. Let's do this. Cream, butter and sugar. Right, well, I have my trusty little measuring cup. Hopefully we've got half a cup. So half a cup. Right, in it goes. Woohoo! I've been slowly trying to change all these containers. And you know, this, it's plastic. I'm trying to get rid of all the plastic. And it's a very slow process. I just very recently see, we've got these like plastic cups. I just recently bought a stainless steel set of tumblers on Amazon. I think they were only like $7 or $8 for 6 of them. So I only ordered them last night, so I haven't got them yet to show you. But yeah, trying to get rid of plastics. Don't know how I got onto that. Oh yes, the sugar container. Anthony Chihuahua says summer nights aren't complete without cicadas singing. No, and that's true. That's true. You see, we're in our autumn here, and in autumn, at least over here where I am, it's like in summer you have the cicadas, and then in autumn all the crickets start. I love the sound of the crickets. I find the crickets, the sound of the crickets is more soothing to me than the sound of cicadas. And cicadas can get so loud. Where have the scales gone? I've lost my scales. That's really odd. So that's what happens when your daughter tidies up. You don't quite know where everything's gone. Right. Oh, this is going to be an issue. Where are the scales? They're normally just sitting there on the bench. Unbelievable. Worst case scenario, there's always things we can do to get around that. No, okay. Okay. We're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. right. Real scales. Put that there. Gee, I haven't used these things for a while. So what do we need? We need 125 grams of butter. Custom screen printing. Says, I'm still here, Susan. I'm just listening and watching. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. I hope you're having a good day, Wayne. Miss M says, I love to bake. I might just find a recipe and bake some muffins or cookies. Oh, that sounds good. Now, this is going to be very hard. Let me see. I wish I knew where my electronic scales had gone. They're not under here, are they? How can they just vanish? It makes no sense to me. Now this butter isn't quite as soft as I would like. All right, we're going to plop it all in here. Oh, now, okay, so that's going to be 250 grams. We want, yeah, look, a little bit more, I think. I'm still desperately looking around the room, trying to find my electronic scales, which seem to have vanished. I think that might be it. So we need to soften the butter. And what do you do when you need to soften the butter? You go over here. And you take your bowl and you pop it, oops, on the wood stove. I know. The wood stove is getting too hot, my friends. We have exceeded the temperature that I wanted these cookies. They take 13 minutes to cook in the oven. And you cook them at 170 Celsius, which is, well, it's a moderate oven. So for me, that is 170 Celsius, or in this particular instance, it's going to be closer to 200. So we'll wing it. Put the butter over here, get that out of the way. All right. So just while we're letting that soften, we are going to coconut. Coconut will be next. And honey, okay. We've really just got to wait for this to soften now, I reckon. Oh, and you know what else I need to do, of course. Oh, no, I don't need to turn up. See, I keep forgetting. I think, oh, my goodness, I haven't turned on the electric oven, but we're not actually using the electric one today. So there's no, we don't need to. How's this going? Yeah, it's softening. I don't want to melt it, not like totally melt it, but it would be good to soften it. So we'll just give it a little bit longer. Put that over there. so you can see it. That's where we're baking today. Still looking for this silver scale. That's my pantry in there with my fridge that doesn't work anymore. What are you baking? Hello, hello. I've got a few more people in. Maria, B86. Hello, my dear. Welcome. It's lovely to have you here. And who else? Deb Loves Crafts is here. Anthony Chihuahua. We've got the wood stove going because the weather here is getting colder now. So I thought, since it was on, I was going to do some baking. Today we're starting with biscuits. And I must say, traditionally, going back, every year when I start getting back into the swing of using the wood stove for my baking, because over summer we have a bit of a break. We don't have the wood stove going in summer quite often because it's just too hot to want to have this going as well. It heats the house up way too much. So when I start baking again for the year, I always tend to start off with these biscuits, and they're honey coconut. And we're just waiting for the butter to soften. And now we are going to get you back in shot. We are going to cream the butter and the sugar. I hope I've got the correct amount of butter. I don't know where my electronic scales are gone, so I'm eyeballing it, as they say. So let's plop it in. You know, either it's going to work or it's not. That's basically how it goes with baking, isn't it? And cooking. And then we need, I think we might use this one today. But yeah, I make these biscuits every year. I really like them. They're a firm favourite because I love honey and I love coconut. My daughter isn't as excited about honey coconut biscuits, although she's becoming more so. Like when she was younger, when she was like really little, it was all about chocolate cake and chocolate biscuits and chocolate and more chocolate. And don't get me wrong, I love my chocolate, but you know, it is nice to have other things as well. So let's get that going. And let's catch up with the chat. Oh my God, Dora. Hello, Dora. My goodness. Dora's probably only like 3 and a bit hours back in Australia. Is that correct, Dora? I think it was 7 o'clock. Hello, my friend. So good. Are you glad to be back? And are you still travelling? Because I know you were talking for a little while there, Dora, about getting a bus, weren't you, from the airport? So are you still sort of on your way home? It's so lovely to see you here. Oh, Kirsty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have insomnia. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it, Joy? All right. Oh, I tell you, I'm really stressed about these. No, Pepper, I'm not feeding you. Well, you know, even if I was to find my electronic scales now, it's sort of a bit late. But so let me just guess. That would have been So, I think I've got the right amount. All right, stop panicking, stop faffing. All right, so cream, butter, and sugar. Well, it's sort of creamed. Next thing we have to do, we've got to add egg until light and fluffy. So, over here I have an egg, a little blue egg from one of my Araucana hens. Have my Super Suze mug. Break it in there. I always break them into a cup or a glass or a mug or something first, just in case. I mean, I've never had a off one, like ever, but there's a first time for everything. And I certainly don't want to do it while I'm baking. So the egg goes in, plop, there we go. Getting there. All right. Oh, okay. All right, so Joy is saying, oh, Chef Sibby. Hello there, my dear. Lovely to see you. I was over on your channel the other night. Let me see, Joy. Yes, here we go. Joy was saying, I never thought I'd take sleep meds, but now I take Sequel and get at least 5 hours and no grogginess. Okay. Huh. I'm very lucky. I tend to sleep quite well. So thus far in my life, not required. All right, so cream, butter, and sugar, add egg, beat until light and fluffy. Well, this is looking light and fluffy, folks. So I think what we'll do now is add the coconut and honey. So coconut. We are going to add 2 tablespoons. I've got a measuring spoon, 2 tablespoons of coconut. So there's 1. Now I will put this recipe in the description for anyone who's interested. So we've got that and the honey. Where's the honey? Here we go. How much honey do we want? Good grief, I read it as 1.5 cups of honey and I think, gee, that's an awful lot. All right. I might need, okay, 2 tablespoons of honey. The honey has gone solid, which is why I've used a different spoon. So there's 1. Okay. Pop that in. So yeah, you can see here the honey's gone a bit solid. And that's okay. It still tastes fine. You can still use it. It still melts down and, you know, it's just what honey does once the air gets to it. All right, so add coconut and honey, beat until combined. So let us do that. Now I have written here in my notes from previous years, it made 5 trays. Oh, you're looking at that backwards, aren't you? Well, it made 5 trays of 8 biscuits. So that's how many biscuits we should get from these ingredients. Radio. Now for the next exciting bit, we are going to fold in sifted flour. So get that off, dunk that in there, dunk that in there. Now, I'm still relatively new to these cooking lives, so I do apologize if I'm not like really good at it. I'm working out how to do it as I go, really. We are going to need a sieve, which I have. Take that out. There we go. So what we want now is one and a half cups of self-raising flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sifter over the bowl like so, and then we'll measure out 1.5 cups. As I try desperately not to cover us all with oh, I didn't do that well, did I? I just spilled flour everywhere. So that's 1 cup of self-raising. So plonk that in there, and then another 1/2 cup. All right. No, not quite, a little bit more. I am making such a mess. And 1/2. So put that there. So get some of these things out of the way. I'll put them over here because I've used them. Don't need any more honey for the moment, so I'll put that over there as well. Now, how are we doing here in the chat? Okay, I've got a bit to catch up on. I'm just going back. Let me scroll back. All right, see, okay. Hope you managed to get some sleep, Dora, says Kirsty. Mike's Adventure Sparks is in the house. Hello, good to see you also. Kirsty from Heart's Humble Home is saying, thank you, Joy. That sounds great. Natasha, hello. Came here after seeing Miss M's post about your live stream. Oh, Miss M, did you put a post out? Thank you so much, my love. That's so good of you. And Natasha, welcome in. It's so good to have you here, a fellow Aussie. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Sorry, that was very daggy. I really probably shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. No, no, no. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. All right, so Mike is saying hello to everyone. Natasha's saying hello to everyone. Chef Civi, I've probably answered this question already because I've lost track of where I was in the chat, but I'm making honey coconut biscuits and I'm making them in the wood stove. So not the electric or a gas wood stove, but I'm using the Beast, my wood stove, to make them. Usually when I start baking again with the wood stove each year, I like to start off with a few simple things just to sort of reacquaint myself with the cooking on a wood stove and in a wood stove and around a wood stove and all that sort of thing. And I always find that these biscuits, as well as being a firm favorite, they do cook up very well in the wood stove. And I can practice with them as often as I like. and it's really great. Wow, so much flour. Oh, it's going everywhere. Okay, so Mike saying hello. Anzac biscuits, no honey coconut. But I will be making Anzac biscuits, but I'll do it on Anzac Day weekend, which I think isn't this next weekend. I think it's the one after. So I will be making Anzac biscuits. Another Melbourne person. Are you in Melbourne, Natasha? I'm in Victoria. I am in the Highlands of Victoria, in the Alpine region. All right, so fold in sifted flour, mix well. Yeah, okay. So I've added the flour. So mix it through. I'm disappearing here in a cloud. I'll move it a bit closer so I can see you all. Oh, Mike saying, sorry, Dora, the autocorrect got me. Sharon, my friend Sharon, also in Melbourne. Sharon is in the chat. Welcome in, Sharon. Happy Saturday to you. Oh, dear me. This is looking too dry. But I don't want to do... See, it's horrible when you have to... Well, it's too late now to be adding more butter. Or is it? I could probably still add some butter to it if I need to. The problem was I couldn't find my electronic scales this morning, which is really, really odd because they've lived in the same place for years and years and years. And then suddenly this morning I go to use them on a live, of course, when I don't really have the time to go look for them. And you think I can find them? They have just vanished. All right. Well, don't know. What do you reckon, Chef Sibby? Should I be adding more butter to this? It's not looking quite as though I remember it. And I have made this before. Or do I just keep working it? You tell me, my dear. Do I keep working the dough or do I add more butter? Or both. I could do a bit of both, I suppose. I'll move back here. You can see me a bit better. Hello, Jim. You're back again. Oh, it is. It is a very important skill to have. And it's funny, like you look at a lot of the really old recipes and, you know, I used to look, I've got some old recipes of my grandmother's and great-grandmother's, and they say things like, you know, well, I guess what I'm saying is they used to not give times and they used to not give temperatures. And I'd sit there and go, yeah, but I want to make this thing that my grandmother made, but she doesn't give any temperatures and she doesn't give any times to cook by. And as a beginner cook at that stage, that just really threw me. And I thought, well, what do I do? I'm just going to wash my hands for a minute. I've decided I am going to add a little bit more butter. But I realise now that when you have a wood stove, it's very subjective, like depending on what type of wood you're cooking, you may have, like these biscuits, I'm meant to cook them at 170. Now, depending on what wood I'm using, I might have no hope in hell of getting that oven to 170 Celsius. Not a hope. So people learnt to cook, you know, if it was a lower temperature, they'd just cook something for half an hour longer. If it was a higher temperature, they'd cook it for a shorter time. So cooking was a lot more hands-on and needed a lot more thought, I suppose, than what we have to do these days. Should I? I'm just going to put that there. So yeah, and now all those old recipes of my grandparents, when I look at them, they make a lot more sense. Like now I understand why the old recipes don't have times, they don't have temperatures. They just say, these are the ingredients, put it in the oven and bake until it's cooked. And that's basically what a lot of them do say. They don't have temperatures, they don't have times, because every piece of wood I put in that wood stove is going to burn differently. It's going to burn hotter or not as hot, or it might take longer to get to temperature or not. So yeah, very interesting. So we're just waiting for the butter to melt, a little bit more butter. I'm going to put more butter in it. So we've got it over here on the bench, which isn't a bench, it's in fact the oven, melting it down. I have an awful feeling that these biscuits aren't going to work as well as I hoped. But it's all fun and it's all an experiment, and that's why I start with these biscuits every year. Who have we got? Peter! Peter is in the house. Tim Mitchell is here. You need to see it. Ah, okay. To me, that looks way too dry. So I'm putting, like, way too dry. Kathleen is here. Kathleen is multitasking. Old Man Kings is here. Hello, Peter. Welcome in. This is Pam is here. Old Man King, Peter, is saying hello to Tim, Sivy, Joy, and Ace. Miss M is talking to Pam. Yes, that's right, Chef Sivy. Yes, we call them biscuits. I will admit I don't tend to use my old-fashioned scales as much these days. But I shall wait. Yeah, I thought so too. All right. Because I have made these biscuits before. I make them most years, several times. And I'm looking at these thinking, that doesn't look right. We're getting closer. See, I'm doing what my relatives used to do back in the day. I'm just making it up as I go along. It's the joy of cooking on a wood stove and not reading your recipes properly. All right. Jamie Carpenter. Jamie, yes, I sort of do. I have the wood stove here, which gets used probably 10 months of the year. 9 months of the year. Doesn't get a lot of work in summer because in summer it's just too hot to want to have a stove going. So for the other months, we have, if I'm pointing there is an electric stove. And that's also handy, you know, like especially depending on what you're cooking. Sometimes I can bake a cake in that one and put something else in that one, or I can do a roast in this one and a cake in that one. So it's actually quite good having two stoves. But welcome in, Jamie. It's lovely to have you here. All right, so let me see. Is it soft enough? I think it's soft enough. We'll toss that in. Turn you around so you can see what I'm doing again. Right. That looks somewhat better. This looks more like what I would expect it to look like. All right. Ah, I licked my fingers. Naughty me. So we're now at the stage, I think, where we can shape them and put them in the oven, or at least put some of them in the oven. What tray am I going to use? Oh, you're going to laugh at me. I'm going to use a pizza tray. Now with a wood stove, cooking in a wood stove is a lot more hands-on. Yeah. I know you're probably right, Chef Sibby, but I'm not going to. Because I don't have time. I should have done that thing where, you know, here's one I made earlier, but I didn't do that, sorry. We're just going to wing it. It'll work or it won't work. But thank you. Right. Wayne says, I have to go now, everyone in chat. Have a good evening and have a good day, Susan. God bless. Thank you, Wayne. You also. They should be tacky but not wet. Yeah. No, I think it's good now. It's tacky but not wet. I think we're good. Thank you. Coming back from the moon to make biscuits, says this is Pam. Farmerland Fords, welcome in. Raj, welcome in. Good to see you. Brooke Trout is here also. Thank you all for being here. All right. So we are going to, yes, I was talking, cooking in a wood stove is a lot more hands-on. When you cook biscuits or cookies or cake or anything like that in your normal, everyday, regular gas or electric oven, these days a lot of them are fan forced, And they're also very good at regulating temperature, aren't they? So you'll turn your oven on and you'll set the temperature that you want. And when you put your food in, all you have to do then is set a timer and go, all right, I'll take those out in 10, 12, 20 minutes, whatever it is, depending on what you're baking. You can't do that with a wood stove, because a wood stove, for a start, isn't fan forced. And also, over here, is fire. So what would happen is, if you put a cake or cookies into this oven here, the oven part is here, everything that is on this side closest to the wood box, if you don't turn it, they would burn to a crisp. So what would happen is everything on the side next to your wood box would burn, and then everything in the middle would probably be just about right, and then the things on the other side, furthest away from your wood box, would be undercooked. So if I'm cooking, some biscuits that are going to take 20 minutes, for instance, I would put them in there, and then every 5 minutes I have to open the oven and turn it and turn it and turn it. And that way you get even coverage with your cooking and with the heat. Of course, with doing that, you're also opening the door. So a lot of the heat will come out when you're opening the door 4, 5, 6 times. As you keep turning the things that you cook, every time you do that, you're letting heat escape. So it's a really tricky combination of making sure everything cooks evenly while not allowing the oven itself to lose too much heat. You've got to keep it there. And that can be quite tricky. Sometimes, you know, if you're cooking something for a while, by the time you've been going for a while, the heat starts to dissipate. You've got to race outside, bring in more wood, shove it in, get it up to temperature. It's very hands-on. Cooking on a wood stove is incredibly hands-on. Tim Mitchell is asking how everyone is doing. He's asking Brook Trout how he's going. Brook Trout's asking how Tim's going. Everyone's saying hello. It's so wonderful to see. Jamie Carpenter says it was a chilly 90F here in Arizona. All right. We need to do this. Let's get some coconut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip some of the coconut into a bowl. Take that out. Put that, trying to set everything up where you can see me. Do that a bit more. There we go. You'll have to excuse all the mess. Now, the first lot will be interesting because I can never remember. I know these biscuits, they spread quite a lot. All right, so what we need to do is we grab our mixture. Now our mixture's looking like that now. I've rolled it into a ball. There we go, sort of a ball. Imagine it's a ball. And then we have our desiccated coconut and we plop it in there. And we roll it around. Now these biscuits could end up being a bit too big. So now it almost looks like a white chocolate truffle, doesn't it? So we've got that. And I just give it a really gentle press. And yeah, using a pizza tray, especially when you're turning things in a wood stove all the time, makes life a lot easier. Oh, just Jason Keto, welcome in. I'm so sorry, I'm baking cookies. Lots of sugar, I'm afraid. How are you, just Jason Keto? Are you well? So once we've done the first lot of biscuits, we'll have a better idea as to how big these balls need to be. Like even these could be way too big. And once we put them in the wood stove, they'll be in there approximately 15 minutes. But, you know, being a wood stove, it could end up being more or less. I don't think it will be more because the oven is quite hot on the wood stove currently. So how many we've done? 4. I think that's going to be too much. Might do that, might do that. So we're experimenting here with some of the sizing. Use our honey coconut, and then we put them in the coconut, trying not to tip it all out on the bench as I show you. Roll it around in the coconut so it's got nice coverage. Flatten it ever so slightly and plop it on. Then we do the next one, flip to, so I've done what, 6, okay. Children, behave. Stop hissing at each other. 2 of the cats are having an altercation in the background there. I do apologise. But it happens. And that's why they say don't film with cats, with animals or children. And that's why. That's why. All right, so we've got 6 on here. Should I put another one in? I usually do a tray of 8 biscuits, but as we are using the wood stove, I suppose I could do one. Oh, I'll do 7. All right. So on my pizza tray, I have 7 biscuits. I have them on a round tray because it's easier to turn that tray in the wood stove, because I'm going to have to turn it 4 times while they're cooking, while maintaining the temperature of the oven itself. So let's swing you around here so you can see the oven. We are currently on, hello Kitty. Yeah, we are on, so 50, 60, 70, it's about 180 Fahrenheit. Sorry, 180 Celsius. So the oven is currently 10 degrees hotter than what I would normally cook them at in the other one. But we are going to lose heat as we keep opening the door back and forth. And yeah, let's see how we go. Oh, it's going to be hot. It's going to be very hot. Let me see. Okay, we'll get this. So put the tray in there. All right. So let me think. We are going to need to turn them 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so roughly every 4 minutes. Roughly every 4 minutes, I am going to have to open that up and give it a quarter turn. So a 1/4 turn every 4 minutes. The joys of cooking with a wood stove. Miss M said, even though I've tried coconut and didn't like it, those biscuits look delicious. Yeah, no, they are, Miss M. They really are. My daughter is not a massive fan of honey coconut, or more honey, I suppose. But no, she eats these. She didn't when she was younger though. When she was younger, she wasn't big on them at all. And I'd make batches of these biscuits, and then I would end up being the only person that actually ate them. Which, you know, you can imagine that does have its advantages, but seriously, it's got some bad some bad things too. Doesn't do your weight much good if you're the only one eating all your baking. So we're just going to keep rolling. I have a timer going. It says I've got 3 minutes. I've got a timer going because when you're making things like this, it's very hard to keep you sort of lose track of time. And so I'm trying to make biscuits, keep an eye on when I need to flip those round, and do a live all at the same time. So I thought, yeah, we'll use a timer. Put my glasses back on so I can read the chat better. All right, that's good. Or it's probably not good actually. I was going to say no one's chatting at the moment. So keep rolling. Drop it in. Grab another piece out. Keep rolling. Drop it in. So it's everyone's Friday. Almost everyone's Friday. What have you got planned for your weekends? Tell me what you're all up to. I know Jim, if Jim is still in the chat, I think I saw him say that he went to Taco Bell. We used to have Taco Bell in Australia. I don't know if we still do, though. I haven't seen a Taco Bell in years. Well, that biscuit's going to be huge. Way too big. Way too big. My sizing is not the best. Still here. Oh, good to see. Was it Taco Bell or did I misread that, Jim? I used to quite like Taco Bells. I don't think I've actually been to one since I was like in my 20s. Oh, no, it'd be in my 30s. Definitely in my 30s I was still going to Taco Bell. But then I moved, and the place that I moved to was absolutely nowhere near a Taco Bell. So I sort of stopped going then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do one more. Shaz is currently babysitting. Okay, let's turn that off. So our first 4 minutes is up. So now we swing you around over here. Now, what I usually do, and I forgot to do it, I usually put like a little tear in the paper at like my 6 o'clock mark when I put it in the oven, so that, because it is very easy, as I said, to lose track when you're turning them. And you sit there and go, have I turned this already, or I haven't turned it? Or all right, so you open it up. Whoop. We're going to give it a 1/4 turn and close it. And then we're going to set it for another 4 minutes. And while we're doing that, we'll just keep baking or making these biscuits. All right, timer is going. That's always handy. Tim Mitchell says, yes, they look good. Jim's still here. Sharon's babysitting. Jay Sparky, welcome in, my friend. How are you? James says, I am correct. Yes, it was Taco Bell. Oh, I used to love Taco Bell. I mean, I do make some Mexican food. I quite like spicy things. Like I do make a lot of Italian, which isn't necessarily spicy, but by the time I finish making it, it usually is. And I like Indian food. I definitely like Mexican. And recently I've been getting into a lot of Spanish. You know, I've been watching a Spanish cooking channel, and I'm so sorry, I can't actually remember what it's called, so I can't share the name with you, but some of the food that he makes is absolutely incredible. And of course, you know, again, you've got all those amazing spices, and I think, ooh, that sounds like something I want to be a part of. I mean, food's a very romantic thing, really, isn't it, when you think about it? People like to be romanced by their food. I don't think we should, I mean, look, everyone's different. Some people, they don't care what they eat as long as it's filling and it sustains them. And that is important, of course, but I do think people like to be romanced by their food. You know, you want to look at something and think, oh man, I could really, you know, go that. And that's what I like about cooking, is being able to put that love and that romance into the food that you make. Jay Sparky saying hello to Tim. Tim has said hello to Jay. Yes, there is a kitty. That one is the black one next to the oven there, if you can see it. That's Pepper, that little black thing. Yeah, she's looking up at me now, so there we go. That's Pepper. There's 3 altogether. But I mean, do you agree with me? Or am I just being, you know, girly and silly about, you know, being romanced by your food? I mean, isn't it fantastic to sit down at the end of the day or even at lunchtime and, you know, just think, wow, this food that I'm eating is just so incredible. I think a lot of people have forgotten about the joy of making food and eating it. Did anyone watch Armistice? Oh, re-entry and splashdown. It was amazing to watch. No, I forgot. I totally forgot. But I will watch it. Chef Civi says, yep, that's why I say cook with love and eat with passion. Exactly. Oh my God. See? Another 4 minutes. It's so easy to lose track of time. So easy to lose track of time. Turn that off. You don't want to be listening to that. All right. So back over here. Oh, I know Pepper. We are losing a little bit of heat, but not too much. So when it first went in there, all right, so we've done one lot of 4, another lot of 4, so we're up to 8 minutes now. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 4 more minutes on the timer. Let's go. Yeah, so yeah, cook with love and eat with passion. That's exactly right. Life's too short, you know. I mean, if we can't enjoy what we do, you've got to enjoy what you do, and you've got to enjoy what you eat. It's so important. It's so important. Ace is busy putting up everyone's links as normal. Thank you so much, my dear. It's much appreciated. Poor old Kirsty's probably fallen asleep, poor love. Tim Mitchell says, I haven't watched the footage yet. I'm waiting to see the flat earthers' take on it. Yeah. They always have a lot of interesting things to say, I find, the flat earthers. All right, so I'm still making biscuits. I'm piling them up here on a plate. Sexy food sounds great, Susan. Yeah, I think so, Ace. Susan has a very good video explaining how the wood stove works. It's a must watch. Yes. It's certainly interesting living and working with a wood stove. Tim Mitchell says, we're looking for an old wood burner kind of thing like that for our kitchen. This one has a water jacket, Tim. Not all wood stoves do. So I would recommend that if you're going to try and get one, and maybe that doesn't suit, you know, the lifestyle that you have or what you want to do with it, but because this one has a water jacket, it heats the water as well. Don't ever assume that they all do that, because they all don't. Oh, I've made it too big. Oh, Kirsty's still here listening. You poor love. I mean, I'm grateful that you're here. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel for you. You never sleep. Now, how many did I say? So normally it makes 5 trays of 8 biscuits. Well, I put, because I'm using the wood stove and the pizza board that I'm using, so it is in fact 7 biscuits I've put in there. In 1 minute, the timer will be going off. And then we get to give the tray another 1/4 turn. And that's something that you would also be having to do, Tim, if you're like cooking bread or cakes or biscuits or what you would call cookies. You need to have that time to go back and keep rotating your food. And of course, it slows down the process a lot. I mean, you can see every time it happens, you know, every time the timer goes off, I've got to stop what I'm doing. I should be cleaning down my hands, you know, you're just getting into a roll with something, and you've got to stop what you're doing and start faffing around with the oven again. All right. Coconut everywhere. Let's get that turned off. Right, done. Hand towel over here. Okay. Back to the wood stove. Open it up. And you've got to also make sure you turn it in the same direction every time. Oh, they're smelling amazing. They really are. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this vent up here a little bit, let more air into the box. I'll just, okay, jolly good. Let more air into the box just so it can help heat up a little bit more. Now, what do we got here? Just catching up. Mike is saying hello to everyone. He's saying hello to Jay, hello to Ace. Jay's saying hello to Ace. Miss M is still here. Thank you, my love. It's so good to have you here. You've got to see how the biscuits turn out. Chef Civi says, we are trying to find one that is a replica of what was originally in the house. Oh, wow, how exciting. So obviously you know what was originally in the house. I would do that too if I was you. I completely get it. It's nice to sort of return the place to something more akin to what it used to be, maybe. It's certainly what I would do. Wow. Oh no, they're okay. They're okay. So what type of oven was it? You see, I like old-fashioned things. The older something is, the more I appreciate it, I suppose. I just think old things have character. You know, my dining suite is this old Edwardian carved, heavily carved dining suite. I'm not going to show it to you because it's absolutely covered with crap and rubbish at the moment. I've been using it as my desk for a week, so it's not looking at its best. Did I set the timer off? Oh, bugger me. Okay, so, all right, let's think. I didn't set the timer off, but I reckon I've been chatting to you for 2 minutes. So I'm going to put it for another 2 minutes. See, you didn't catch me up. You didn't catch me up. See how easy it is to get distracted. Jay Sparky. Oh, local reviewer is here. Hello, Clayton. Welcome in. We're making biscuits, honey and coconut. I can hear the oven making some noise. That's because I've let the air, I've opened the front vent to let a bit more air through into the firebox just to kick it off a bit more. At this stage, I've already opened the door 3 times, I think it is. Well, no, 4 times if you include putting them in there. A 126-year-old burner that sat on a pedestal. Okay. Ah. Well, that sounds intriguing. I wish you every success with that. That sounds wonderful. I hope you find it. I'm sure you will eventually. It's the great things about, you know, some of these little searches we go on, you know, have something that you just simply have to have. And especially if what you have to have is something that's super old. Kitty. The kitty. It's not the black kitty, it's the grey kitty. All right, so no more. They're all sitting on here waiting to go into the oven. Oh, now let me think. How many times have I done the timer now? So it was, I put them in, they had 4 minutes, and then I turned them and they had 4 minutes, and then I turned them and they had 4 minutes. So this is the last, so 4, 8, so okay, all right. 4 times, do we all agree that this is the 4th time I've done it? All right, let's turn that off. You know what else I need? I am going to need one of these. So theoretically, if I haven't completely buggered up my times, And because I've been chatting to you, I may have buggered up my times. But they should almost be ready to come out. But will they be? Again, like I said, you just don't know. It's very hands-on. It's very hands-on. Typical kitty attack. Kitty's causing mischief. Yes, love the kitty shenanigans in the background. And the clock. You can hear the clock going. Kitty's making messes. They do, don't they? All right. Let's see if these are actually ready. The other great thing is you can actually put them on top of the oven and keep them cooking. All right, so this is how they're looking. Can you see them all? There we go. Now, to me, these seem perfect. So we shall slide them slide them off onto a cooling rack. Now they didn't spread too much, so that was perfect. So there's our first 7 done. Now I will try one just to make sure they're A-okay. Now because this will be hot, I've got a cork mat, put that there, and we'll put some more of our uncooked biscuits here on the tray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one in the middle, which is 7. Now what I'll do is I'll put a tear in the paper so I've got a better idea. So yeah, I've taken a little bit out of the paper. So I basically just keep turning it. You see here how, oh maybe you can't see. There at the front, I've made a little hole in it. So I'll keep turning it, and when I get back to that point, I know I've gone the whole way around the tray. Again, it can be hard when you're using round trays to sort of keep track of where you're up to with the turning. Ooh, bit hot. There we go. Next lot is in. 4 minutes on the timer. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. So we've got these cookies here, but let's have a look at the chat. Do I need a taste tester? Gosh, you know, I think I probably do. You volunteer. Hi, Plains Camper. Welcome in. We need smell-o-vision. Oh, God, you do. I mean, honestly, I wish you could smell what it smells like in this kitchen at the moment. So look at these biscuits. I can't sort of tip them too much because they'll slide off, but they're just the perfect brown. And underneath, they're just, look at that. Perfect. And You've probably heard people say over the years that food and cakes cooked in a wood stove tastes totally different to what you might cook in a gas or an electric oven. And I kid you not, it's true. The taste is incredible. Things tend to get crispier on the outside than they would in a modern oven. So your biscuits just have that slight bit of crunch, not too much crunch, especially if you are actually turning them like you're supposed to, like I've been doing. But if, you know, you turn your biscuits and they just get this slight bit of a crunch to them, and inside they're like soft and chewy. And that's how I like my biscuits. Some of you may like them not chewy inside, in which case you would just cook them for longer. You cook to your own taste. But the food that I cook in this wood stove always seems to be like that, like the cakes. Even a cake just has that incredibly subtle, almost crunch to it as you bite into it, but then the inside is so moist, not undercooked, just moist. It's perfectly cooked. You get the perfect crumb on a cake, but the inside of food just seems to be so much more moist than it is if I was to cook something in that electric stove over there. And that's because a lot of the newer stoves, this one is fan forced, but there's no button on it. It's a cheap one, I'll admit, but there's no way to bake without using that fan force. When I lived in Melbourne, I had a different oven. It was a gas one, and it was a Smeg, and I had the option. There was a switch on that oven so that I could bake with the fan or without the fan. This one doesn't have an option. You turn the oven on, the fan's going. And many of them are like that these days because people don't have the time or the inclination to bake the old-fashioned way where you've got to like keep turning things and keep turning things. People don't have time for that these days. They want to just bung it in an oven, walk away and come back in 20 minutes and take it out and know that the air has been circulating. You don't have that luxury with this. It is much more hands-on, but the food is so much better. You want to cook a roast. You're baking vegetables, meats. It doesn't matter what you cook. It's just so much better. Everything you cook, you have a roast chicken or a pork, the crunch, it has a crust and it has that flavour that you just can't get. And then when you bite into it, it's so much more flavoursome, so much more juicy. And I mean, when you have a roast pork or a roast chicken or a roast beef, you want it to be juicy and flavoursome inside, you know. Oops, set the timer, got to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. Right, we're off. That's the second one. So I've done 1/4 to, okay, cool. Yeah, the food, the taste, the quality, everything about it. Doesn't matter what you cook, it's going to have a very slight crust. The inside is going to be moist because it hasn't been dried out by the fan. And yeah, the flavors are just so different. Depending on what you're cooking too, like if you're doing a roast, something that's going to be like 2, 3, 4 hours in the oven, you can sometimes even get a slight, almost like a woodiness to it, a smokiness to it. Not sort of that much that it really hits you in the face and it's overwhelming. But you know, like for people, those of you in the chat maybe who use smokers, and you talk about getting the smoke and how that can affect the taste of a piece of meat that you're doing, for instance, it can work the same way, even with cakes and biscuits and roasts and things. Don't forget one for me. Oh, All right, Jay, look, I'll see what I can do. All right, I'm just catching up here with the chat. Yeah, smell-o-vision would be great. No, I'm not putting bunny bottoms on them. No, they've been well and truly eaten, Jay, well and truly eaten. But, you know, I can always find an excuse to make more. So, but I think our next big bake, I might do some soup maybe on the wood stove next weekend if it's cold. I was going to be doing a big pot of soup. Something that I can then leave on there and it'll just simmer away all day. Unfortunately, I don't think I should have an oven like that in my 3rd floor apartment. No, Jay, absolutely not. I wish that I could though, says Jay. Well, they're incredibly heavy, of course. You know, the weight in those things. I mean, they're cast iron. Jim says, may I suggest that when the timer goes off, I automatically set again at that moment and then go rotate the pan. That way I don't have to remember to set the timer again. Yes. You are right, Jim. I'm so distracted because I'm talking to everyone, but you are right. We've got 2 minutes, so call me up on it if I forget. High Plains Camper, he says, I'm lurking and doing chores. Yes, that's right, Chef Sibby. The heat source is different and much drier. Yeah, I found, you know, with this other oven here, it's the first time I've had an oven where the option of turning the fan off wasn't available to me. And when I got that oven, I didn't actually look at that because it was the first time that I'd ever seen an oven where I didn't have that option. So I just assumed that it would have the option. And there you go. I didn't do my due diligence and it didn't. But yeah, I do find that the food, in terms of, off you get. Oh, fudge. This is fudge. Hello, yes. Isn't she beautiful? I do find that food browns better in a modern electric or gas oven. All right, here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We've done it, Jim. We've done it. What was I saying? Hang on, let me do this. Hello, Kitty. You have returned. All right. Can you see the kitty? You can't see the kitty. Hello. Hello, my darling. All right, this is the kitty. This is the other kitty. So you've seen all of them now. So this is Truffle. Truffle's very unimpressed at being carried at the moment. Aren't you? Hey? Yes. She's the one that was knocking things over before that you could hear in the background. Anyway, let's put you down and I'll wash my hands again. So wash. All right. So let's catch up with the chat. And remind me, what was I talking about? I was halfway through a story. Now I've completely forgotten what the story was. All right, let's see. Miss M says, I like crunchy on the outside and a moist and chewy inside. Yeah, no, they're very heavy. Tim's agreeing with Jay. Oh, Fudge. Fudge is a very cute cat. See? They've all got food names. We've got Fudge, Pepper, and Truffle because I love truffles. So we had to have a truffle. Louis, welcome in. I have a beautiful cat. Which one did you see? Was it Truffle, the grey one, or the other one, which was Fudge? Stove fans. Yes, stove fans. Louis, thank you so much for the like. I really appreciate it. Folks, if you haven't given the live a like yet, please do. It would really help me out. And it's so encouraging too, you know, you finish a live and you sit there and you go and have a look at all the analytics and think, oh my goodness, I've got all these likes and it's so exciting. I know, it's silly, isn't it, really? The one you just had your hands in when I came in. Oh, okay, beautiful cat. They are, they're all beautiful. Thank you. Yes, modern stoves. When I cook food in modern stoves, be it a roast or a cake or a cookie, I find that the colour tends to be fairly good because the air is being forced around. But I do find that because of that, you don't get that crunch anymore. You don't get the same moisture within whatever it is that you're cooking or baking. And yeah, there is sort of a smokiness, that a very, very slight, subtle taste that your oven will give to your food, depending on the wood in your area and how dry or how wet that wood is when you were baking. So every biscuit that you make, like this biscuit, if you make it, it may not necessarily have the same, the flavour profile will be ever so slightly different, because every stove and every cook and every batch of firewood you put in there is going to be slightly different, and every time it will affect the flavour. All right, I'm doing it now, Jim. I'm doing it now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Went too far. There we go. Right. Hello, Truffle. She does like to sit in front of the stove. Hello, darling. All right. So that's the third time I've done it. So we've done one, then we've turned it to there, we've turned it to there, we've turned it to there. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. But let me just have a look. But I think, you know, we need to try one, don't we? Don't we need to try one? Louis says, I have 5 cats as well. Old Man King, Peter, it's been lovely having you, Peter, having you here. It's been lovely having you here. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a good night's sleep. And I'll see you probably, are you doing a weekend live? I'll have to go and have a look and see if you've got anything scheduled. But Peter, thank you so much. You take care. 5 cats. We did have 4, but we've lost one. Rotate, yes. No, I did rotate. Thank you, James. You're keeping me on track. See? All right, so should we try one? Should we try one? Gosh. Well, you know, 7 is such an awkward number, isn't it? I like round numbers. 6 is good. 8 is good. 10 is good. 7 doesn't work for me. So I think I need to eat one. So do I eat the biggest one on the tray, or do I eat the smallest one? Yes, that reminds me, says Peter, I need to schedule it. Yes, please do, because it makes it easier for me to know when to come inside, because usually by the time you do your lives, I'm already having my day outside on the farm doing things. And so if I know you're going to do a live, I can put an alarm on my phone and I can pop in for a little bit then, you see. So yes, please schedule it, Peter. Do I deliver? Gosh, I don't know, James, I'll be honest. The thing is, really, realistically, if I had these in my hand luggage on a plane, I seriously doubt I'd have any left by the time I got to Florida. All right, all right, all right, let's do this, let's do this. We're going to try one. Oh, wow. Mmm. Oh, they're just like I remember. Oh, it's so good. Mmm, 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 mmm. Mmm. Okay. Okay. This is good. This you have to try. Like I said, I will be putting the recipe in the description after the video. It'll probably take, give me an hour. Once the live's finished, I'll make sure it's up there. Mmm. People, you don't know what you're missing. Yes, 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 yes. Right. Hello, kitty. Let's have a look. Hmm. I'm going to put these in for a little bit longer. I'm going to put them in for 3 minutes, not 4. I do like this. I like it very much. I would like it just a teensy bit more moist than it is. So that's the last quarter. Those biscuits will end up having 15 minutes, not 16. And we'll see what the difference is. Because we've got to try one from every batch, don't we? Of course we do. We've got to perfect this. Yeah, no, I don't think they're still a bit too blonde, James. Open the vent up a bit more. Okay. I'm sorry, Jay and James. Rest assured, I will have one on your behalf. You have my word. You have my word. But I'll probably have it from that batch. Or maybe even the next batch. We've got a few batches to go. Actually, I don't know why I bothered putting that on there. I'm going to need it again in 1 minute, aren't I? And then it will be time to pull out the next lot of biscuits. Miss M. Well, Susan, I made sure to stick around to see how they turned out, and I've tasted one. Have a wonderful evening, my friend. Thank you, Miss M. Thank you so much for being here. I do very much appreciate it. Whoops, there we go. We're about to take out the next lot. But no, I really appreciate you being here, Miss M. I hope you have a good night's sleep. Right, let's have a look here. So there we go. There's the next lot. Now these ones appear to have spread a little bit more than the first ones, but I did make them a bit bigger, so it is to be expected. Move them over. I'm going to need more room. So yes, I thought next week we could do some soup. Maybe a curried vegetable. My daughter, of course, wants me to make chicken soup. And chicken soup's pretty yummy. I'm not opposed at all to chicken soup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the third tray. And then we've got one more after this. So there's my little cut in the paper, and I'll make sure that's facing me when I put it in. Hello, fun. Hello, darling. Hello. Meow. They do like to sit there. They like the warmth. All right. 1, 2, 3. We're going to give it 3 minutes, not 4. And then I'm going to catch up with the chat. Jay, you have my word. You have my word, Jay. I will most sincerely eat a biscuit on your behalf. Yes. Is there any particular ritual that you require to have a biscuit? Do you like dunk them in tea or coffee or milk? You know, if I'm going to do it on your behalf, I should get the, what's the word I'm after? The ritual. I need to get the ritual correct. So if you were having one of these cookies, Jay, what would be your ritual? Tea, coffee, milk, or just au natural? Oh, gee, I've made a few dishes for myself too. It's not too bad. It could be worse. It could be worse. Alrighty. Just pop a couple of things in the dishwasher. Not that though, that's going to get done by hand. I think most things that I've used, so I would rather wash by hand, if I'm honest. Coffee, says Jay. Just that I enjoy it, but no dunking. Oh, okay, I've got to have coffee, but I can't dunk. Well, look, we can do that. We can do that. We have a kettle. I can hear it already starting to come to the boil. You probably can't hear it. And that's the other thing I love about a wood stove. They're not, there's always a noise. There's, you know, you can hear the soft murmur of the fire, or you can hear, you know, water bubbling in the kettle. There's always some sound associated to it. And it's a gentler sound. It's not like a modern stove where you've got a fan going, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with a fan, it's just that this sounds so much better. And it's alive in a weird sort of a way. It's alive. All right. Oh, I didn't reset the timer, James. All right. All right. done. I forgot to set the timer. The lime and the coconut, yes. Gee, I haven't heard that song for a little while. It must smell delicious in your kitchen. It does. Oh, you've got to go, Joy. Not a problem at all. Thank you so much for being here. I do very much appreciate it. It's been wonderful to have you here, as always, and to catch up. You take care. Have a lovely weekend, Joy. All right. What are we going to need now? Yes, coffee, because I made a ding. Quite right. I made a promise to Jay. So I will get out my little itty bitty coffee cup and I'll put some coffee in it. So I need to just go into the pantry. All right. All right, that's my poor dead fridge in there. I think it's been almost 4 or 5 weeks now that I haven't had a working fridge. But I mean, it's cold enough up here that it hasn't really mattered too much. Oh, can you hear the kettle? It's time. I'll let it go for a moment so it can, just in case you can't hear it, it'll get louder if I leave it. What was I talking about? The fridge, yes. The fridge in there that died a few weeks ago is close to 30 years old. And it's lived a long and happy life, only it's not alive anymore. So, all right. It is time. Alrighty. I think you can just make it out. Beautiful. See, how quick and easy was that? It doesn't even take long to boil your kettle. I don't even think that was a minute, was it? All right. 1, 2, 3. Start it. Turn it. Okay. And the timer's going, so we're all good. All right, you know what were we talking about? Goodness me, I've lost my track again. I've lost track again. But I am looking forward to this cup of coffee. And in a moment, when it's cooled down, look at that, it's steaming hot, Jay. Nice black cuppa. How do you have your coffee though? I have mine black, no sugar, just black. It's funny how taste buds change though, isn't it? When I was younger, I always had my coffee with milk and sugar. Only one sugar, it was only ever one sugar. And then after a few years, probably by the time I got into my 30s, I started feeling very dissatisfied with the taste of my coffee. And so I stopped having sugar in it. And I think for the first 24 hours, that felt really weird to me. And then after that, I was fine. I thought it would be a lot harder to wean myself off sugar in coffee. And I was surprised that, yeah, the first few I had did taste different and I was very aware of it, but then I got used to it so quickly. And then about 2-3 years ago, I just stopped having milk or cream in my coffee. Although I do it very occasionally, just for something a bit different. Oh, you have yours with milk, no sugar. Yes, Jay, timer, yes, turn, yes. And we've got 1 more minute and we get to do it again. Woohoo! I have made such a mess. But yes, so do you reckon we should make some soup next week? I don't know what the weather's going to be like. And I was very disappointed that the snow, like I said, it might still snow. It might still snow tonight, but it may not. I'll turn you ever so slightly that way. What are you looking at? I don't know what you're looking at over there. Timer. Oh, it's the lid of the cordial. I was looking at that yellow thing, saying, what is that yellow thing in the hallway? But it's not a yellow thing in the hallway at all. All right. Oh, I forgot to reset the timer. All right, Jay and Jim, you've got to remind me, got to remind me, got to remind me. Right, there we go. Right, 1, 2, 3, done. Don't say the snow word. No, James, it's not time's up yet. No. Because my little bit of broken paper hasn't even got to the front yet. So put it in, did a quarter in there, then the timer went off, so I moved it to there. Yes, no, not yet. But do you see how easy it is to get distracted? I mean, you can imagine back in the day, people sitting in their cottage kitchen and they're surrounded by children and pets and people and things and distractions going on. And all while that's happening, the poor person doing the baking for the day be sitting there trying to think, okay, do I need to turn this? Do I need to do? It's very hands-on. So you've got to be prepared to have that time. Like, you can't leave it for long. But if you've got the time and the inclination, it really is so worth it. It's so worth it. Oh, Jay says, in February we got a blizzard and was slammed with 41 inches of snow. And James says, well, I'm still so hungry, it has to be time to eat. James, it's not. No, not yet. Not yet, James. Soon. Soon. I think 2 more minutes, theoretically, and we'll take those out of the oven. And when we do that, by the time we've done that, my cup of coffee should have cooled just enough that I can eat some more of these. What do you think? How are they looking? I think they're looking good. 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So it made 26. It's made 26 biscuits. Or at least it will. I mean, clearly we've still got a batch to do, but there's 26. So that's not too bad. So the entire recipe, the entire ingredients, we had 125 grams of butter, and that is 4 ounces, 4 ounces of butter. I use real butter, not margarine. Yes, shh, I hear you. I hear you. So I'm pretty sure, isn't it, Ace? If you're still there, just double check. Is 125 grams of butter 4 ounces? I don't want to give everyone the wrong. Yes, I can hear what you're saying, Jim. I can already hear you. You're saying it's time to take them out, and technically you're right, but the oven is losing temperature. Now, because the oven is losing temperature, this last turn that I did has slowed up. So again, that's part of like learning to read your food as you're cooking it, which is something you really, really, really have to do with the wood stove. You check it regularly, you turn it or you don't turn it, or you cook it for 10 minutes longer, or you take it out 20 minutes earlier. It's just, you have to really learn to recognize what's happening and to adjust and pivot your cooking to suit what's happening in there. Don't say the snow word. Okay. I promised another biscuit. All right. So we're going to have one from the second batch. We're having one from the second batch. Now, this one was for Jay. So you better be here, Jay, because I'm only doing this for you. Okay, are you here? $120 grams, 1 cup. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ace. 125 grams or 4 ounces of butter, half a cup of sugar, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of desiccated coconut, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1.5 cups of sifted self-raising flour, and then we also had extra coconut in the bowl because after we shaped them into a round, I rolled them in the coconut, pressed them a little bit flat, and then put them on a tray. So a little bit of extra coconut, but that's the entire thing. And as I said, I will be putting the recipe in the description down below. So let's try it. We've got to have the cup of tea, which is in fact a cup of coffee. Don't mind me. Oh, very nice. Very nice, Jay. Oh, and it's time. Theoretically, it's time. Well, at least I got the coffee. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this too. I think they're probably done. Let me just... So when you're cooking, you want to get good fast heat. You use small bits of wood. Okay, small like this, small. Almost like kindling, but a bit bigger. So in the bottom of the wood box, I had a couple of bigger pieces. Like this. Whoops. You know, it's quite a large piece. And then I put lots of smaller pieces. So I had like 2 of these. And then I had a lot of the smaller pieces too, because you want the air to be able to circulate through all that wood, and that circulation is part of what helps generate the heat. All right, so let's put this other piece in. I'll put in a few smaller bits. And there we go. And I'll leave the vent open because I want that wood to catch. So while I'm wanting it to catch, it needs more air. And this is it. This is our last lot. Don't know, Jim. You know something? I reckon I'm going to put them back. They have been in there for long enough. They have. As far as, you know, a modern recipe would say, it says 15 minutes. They've been in for longer than 15 minutes, but they're not quite there. Time's up. Let's eat. Yay, cookie for me. Okay, Jay. Okay. So, where were we? Back to the coffee? And really, I'm not allowed to dunk? Mind you, dunking when they're covered with coconut just isn't the same. Okay. Are we ready, Jay? This one here is for you. Let's see. It really is incredibly nice. It's such a subtle flavour too. Like you can taste everything. You can taste the honey, you can taste the coconut, but because I use butter too and not margarine, you can taste the butter. And that's something I think that's missing in a lot of modern cooking, because so many people today use margarine and not real butter. And I think using real butter adds a whole different element to your cooking. And you don't even necessarily realise, like you might be using margarine and it tastes good. The food you're cooking tastes good, but then you change from, well, can you hear that? That's the hot water service in the roof. It's getting a bit too hot. So I better turn this down. Yeah, it's not that food cooked with margarine is bad. It just has a different taste. But you can really taste the butter in it. And it's something that you don't even necessarily realise is missing from the flavour of your foods until it suddenly reappears. And then you go, oh, wow, there's butter. And it makes sense. You should be able to taste the butter. Jay, you would love this biscuit. Truly would. Oh, now you tell me I can dunk. Oh, shit, yeah. I've got biscuits in there. Ace, thank you so much for reminding me. Ace, you're a godsend. I had forgotten. All right. Wow. Oops. Hot, 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 hot. Ow. Alrighty. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, and I've eaten 2, so 23, 24. Yeah, so 24. Oh, I've still got these. 24. All right, so we've done 24 so far. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, back to it. This is well and truly the last batch. Turn that back up. All right. That was a lovely biscuit, Jay. Did you enjoy it? Ace says, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Thank you. So tell me, my friends, do you bake biscuits? And if so, what is your favourite biscuit? Or even if you don't bake them yourself, what's your favourite? Do you have a favourite? What's your favourite biscuit? Or cookie, as it is. I do like chocolate chip. And I have to admit, they're really finicky to make, but gingerbread men. And I'm sorry if I offended anyone by saying gingerbread men. It's not a gingerbread person, it's a gingerbread man. I make gingerbread men. Oh, but they're so much fun to make. But they do take a very long time, and trying to get the arms and legs of your gingerbread man out of a cutter can be incredibly difficult and time consuming. That's where kids come into it, you see. If you've got kids and you're making your gingerbread man, well, you can make your gingerbread man, and I didn't set the timer. You didn't entirely get me. Okay, what do you reckon? Has it been in there for, yeah, look, we'll give it 3 minutes, Ace, because it's already been in there for 1 minute. And now that the oven's getting cooler, I need to increase it from 3 back up to 4. All right. Yeah, trying to get gingerbread men out of the cutters is incredibly difficult and time consuming, but they taste incredible. So I think they're probably my 3 favourite biscuits. So it would be the honey coconut ones that we've got in the oven, chocolate chip, or gingerbread. But what's your favourite? Tell me. And do you want me to bake it in the oven? Oh. Set, says Ace. Yes, indeed. No, you're quite right, Jay. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but as you say, I do think that I got a bit more enjoyment from it than you did. But yeah, look, one day smell-o-vision will be a thing, and you'll get to at least smell it. I'm sure it'll happen one day. But can you imagine? I mean, you don't always want smell-o-vision, do you? Depends where you are and what you're doing. But I am enjoying this cuppa. So what have I got to tell you? Well, my fencer, who was meant to come last week, who was also meant to come the week before, he's coming on Monday. And that will be very exciting. I've got 2 fence repairs that need to be done in the pasture, and they're big fence repairs, so they're not things that I can tackle. He is going to bring up some big concrete posts and a little excavator and some bags of concrete. Some of the old wooden posts for the fencing have started to rot, so we're replacing a couple of them. So that will be good to get that done, because my cows will get out otherwise, and I don't really want that. It's not fun chasing a cow, as I found out just last week, because on my last live, which is on my Tuesday live, any of you who are here, who were there, would have seen that Panda escaped yet again, and it took me something like 3 to 4 hours, because this time the little bugger had escaped next door. He wasn't in our own property. And next door is just wild bush. It's not, there's no homestead there or anything like that. It's all bush. And he was wandering around in the blackberries, and I had to try and walk through the blackberries and guide him back to the fence, which I managed to do, but then I had to get him through the fence. All right. All right. I think we'll put in another small piece. Just keep that heat ticking. You see that? It's burning nicely. That'll certainly get the air circulating. All right. So yeah, it took me hours to catch Panda. But we got him. So I'm looking forward to getting the fence repaired, but we're having the veggie garden fence put up as well, because I need to be able to grow more food, and that means that I need more space. The old veggie garden, which was the one that the previous owners had set up, is very small, and over the years they also planted all their fruit trees down there. So over the years the fruit trees have got bigger, and they're casting shade over the old veggie garden now. It's really not the best spot, but this new spot is going to be way out in the open. It's going to get a lot more rain and a lot more wind and a lot more sun. So hopefully everything will grow that much better. I am swapping, I've bartered it basically for one of the cows. So all the materials for this fencing, so all the concrete posts, and also the new fencing that's going to be going in for the veggie garden, and the gate and all of that, I'm swapping it for a cow. So theoretically, that's all it should cost me. So all the labour and everything. So bartering is alive and well in the high country of Australia. Chocolate chip for me, says Kirsty. Okay. I remember the cow that got out. Yeah, Panda. Panda is a steer. So, yes, Panda is male, but, you know, things have happened down there. He would be coming up to 2 years old now. And I really need him to go because he escapes almost every single day now. And of course, when he does that, he damages the fences, which shorts the fences out. So he's doing damage. So now the fences in the paddock he's in are so damaged from him just pushing through them or climbing over them or trying to get under them or around them or whatever it is he does, that I've actually had to turn the fences off. And of course, once you turn the fence off, then they all want to have a go, you know. But I was out there the other day, like there's a really big short in it somewhere, and you think I can find the short? I walked around and around and around and around, and I cannot find it, and it's a dead short. So it's gone from being an incredibly hot fence, you know, about 8.9 kilovolts, down to 1.8. So it's like there's a wire or something, but they're all the wires are in their insulators. So I think maybe there's a wire on the ground somewhere that's sort of sticking up and touching it. I don't know. I can't find this short. But there's always something to do with fences here on the homestead. Spiral black. Oh my God, it's been a minute. Hello, my love. My goodness me, how are you? I have not seen you for a long time. Are you well? We're cooking cookies or biscuits in the wood stove. Ding. So I'm just going to turn them. Now, do you see now why I use a pizza tray? It's just so much easier. If you've got like a modern oven, like the one that you can't see over there on the other side, like that one, here, that one there. You know, we bake in either rectangular trays or square trays, but it's quite a small oven. The space is quite small, and you've got a rectangle in there. You can't turn a rectangle. It's so much easier to turn if it's round. Otherwise, if you've got a rectangle, you've got to take it out, put it up on the top, turn it, and then put it back in. It just takes longer. But, my friends, oh, you've been at work. I heard the cookies were on after I had to turn up. Ah, well, no, we've cooked a few, Spiral. We've done these ones so far. So there's, and I've eaten a couple. One was for me. Jay Sparky, who's in the chat, insisted that I have one also for him. So I've had one for Jay, but he did insist that I had it with a cup of coffee. So I've had it, having a cup of coffee with it. How has your day at work been, Spiral? Oh, must set the timer. So I am thinking after this timer goes off, we're going to set it for another 4 minutes, and then they should be about ready to come out. And at that point, we'll probably end the live. So I'd say the live's probably got about 10 minutes left. Just in case you're wondering, I'm not going to go on and on. Always need to test them with some tea. Yes, look, I will test them with tea as well. But the last one I had, I was having it for Jay Sparky, and I did give him some options. I said, well, if I'm having this for you, do you want me to have it with tea, coffee, or milk? And Jay said that, well, he would have it with a coffee. So I'm having coffee. After the live, I'll probably try another one with tea. And I'll probably have one later this afternoon with milk. So yes, we were talking about the new veggie garden fence. So he's absolutely insisting that this time, for real, he will be here on Monday and he'll start the fencing. So that is going to be so exciting to finally get that veggie garden up, because I have been wanting this new larger veggie garden for like 4 years now. And I really want to be able to try growing some wheat so that I can mill my own flour to make a loaf of bread. I try and do my own bread here, but I purchase bread flour in bulk. And even if I only do it once in my life, I want to have a go at planting some wheat, growing some wheat, harvesting it, threshing it, milling it, and then using it to make a loaf of bread. I think it would be an incredibly exciting thing to try. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, you got to go? Well, that's quite all right, Spiral. I have loved having you pop in. I hope you stay well, and I'll see you soon. We're going to hang around here for about another 7 or so minutes, and then we'll probably end the live. Give me long enough to finish my cup of tea. And please, if you haven't yet, give it a like. because it all helps. Now, yes, so that's happening. Our garden live didn't happen last week because we ended up with this huge thunderstorm that started just before the live. Oh, it started about an hour before the live, but I was going to be outside planting seeds in pots, and I had all the pots ready to go, and I had all the seeds laid out, and the wind came up, and I just thought this isn't going to happen. And then we had so much thunder, like it was incredibly loud, and the power just kept glitching on and off, and I thought, yeah, look, it's going to be too hard to try and do a live, even if I did it inside. With the way the power was going on and off, I thought that's going to cause issues with the Wi-Fi, and I'm just not going to be able to do it. Right, almost time to turn them again. Almost time. And then I'm going to have biscuits for everyone. I'm going to have another biscuit for James. And I definitely have to have one for Ace. And I have to have one for Kirsty. 3 more. I might have to spread them out a little bit, you know. I don't know if I can actually have another 3. All right. Turn it around, turn it around, turn it around. All right. Yes, time is going. Jolly good. Is soup yet? Is it soup yet? No, not yet. Have 2 for me. I really love them, Susan. Oh, Ace. I'm going to be like huge by the time I finish this. But yes, I will. But can I have them like a little bit later? Like just a tiny bit later in the day, maybe. I mean, I've had 2 and a cup of tea and I'm already feeling full. Soup, no, I haven't made it yet. But where's my book of soups? Hang on. Oh, you can hear the hot water service in the roof. It's not happy. It's rumbling. It's getting too hot up there. So this is my little book of recipes. So we want soups, don't we? You know what I really love but I can't make? Chestnut soup. I love chestnut soup. My family used to make chestnut soup every year at Christmas, and I have made it, and it is a beautiful soup. My next door neighbours have a chestnut farm, and so I will go up there, and I can understand why my relatives in the UK only make chestnut soup at Christmas, because it's such a process to make. Because of course the chestnuts are in these husks with these really long spines on them, and so you're sort of picking them up with like welding gloves or kitchen tongs, and you drop them into a bag. It's like trying to pick thistles. It's not good. And then I take them home, and then you've got to break them all open, and then you get your chestnut inside. Then you've got to get a knife, and you go like cut a square into the bottom of it, so that when you bake them, the moisture in the chestnut has somewhere to go. Otherwise it will explode, because the skin around a chestnut is really super thick. And it's such a time-consuming thing. You've got to pick them. You've got to get them out of the husk. Then you've got to get every single one. You've got to cut a cross into it. And that's not an easy thing to do, let me tell you. Then you've got to roast them. Then once they've roasted, you've roasted them. You've got to take them out of the oven. And while they're still hot, you've got to then peel this incredibly hot skin off them. Because if you let them cool too much, the skin hardens up again, so it doesn't peel properly. So not only are you burning your fingers, but you're trying to like pull this skin off every single chestnut. And by the time you're done, your fingers are just so hot because they've been burning. And then you make soup out of them. It's a beautiful, beautiful soup. I mean, it's really incredible. But once you do it, it takes you 12 months to forget the full horror of the process of making the soup. And so 12 months later, you go, yeah, I wouldn't mind having some chestnut soup again. And then you make it and you realise why it is it took you 12 months to make it again. Yep, I'm happy with those. Right, let's shut this oven down. Oh, look at these, my friend, the last lot. Turn you around. Oh, have to excuse all the mess. But yeah, chestnut soup is really lovely. Have any of you ever tried it? I'm guessing that over in the Northern Hemisphere, you can probably buy like chestnut puree in tins. If you can get chestnut puree in tins, that would, you can make it with that as well. Alrighty, we're done. Unfortunately, you don't seem to be able to get chestnut puree over here, which is such a shame. All right, let's have a look here at the chat. Soup, yes, we were talking about soup. Yes, James, we were. All right, and then I got distracted talking to you about chestnut soup. So let me see. Chicken and mushroom pie, that's not the one I'm after. No. Soup, the back. Pea and ham soup. I do love a good pea and ham soup. Unfortunately for me, my daughter doesn't, so I don't tend to make it much these days. Chestnut soup, I've got my chestnut soup recipe here. Potato soup, which is actually like bacon and onion and potatoes, clearly. And a lot of garlic. It's a lovely soup. Cream of chicken soup, that's one I make a lot. Curried vegetable, or Thai coconut, sweet potato and spinach soup, which is also a very nice one, but again, my daughter's sort of like, like she'll eat it. She'll eat all of them. She's good like that, you know. Even if she doesn't like something, she'll tolerate it and eat it. But I reckon I might make the curried vegetable one next. Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster would be proud, Susan. Thank you. Yes, I should bring it over and show you our completed cookies. So you can see the ones, you can see there's some paler ones here in the middle. That's where the oven was starting to lose a bit of temperature. They're still cooked, but you may also remember that I cooked them for longer because the heat was lower. So they've cooked, but they're a different look. And there goes the timer. So we'll turn that off because I don't think any of us want to be listening to that. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and then I've eaten 2. So there were 28 biscuits altogether that we have cooked in our wood stove. All righty. My friends, I have had a wonderful time being here with you. We have made 28 lovely cookies in the wood stove. I have had a cup of coffee, and shortly I'll be having a cup of tea and doing a lot of dishes. Oh, actually it's not too bad really, but I think it's time that we end the live. So if you haven't done it already, if you could please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, I suppose don't give it a thumbs up. But if you did, please give it a thumbs up. I very much appreciate you all being here and keeping me company in the kitchen, because otherwise I'd just be here doing it by myself, wouldn't I? And where's the fun in that? When you're home in your kitchen and you're pottering around, you want your friends around you. So, and you're all here with me, and you've been keeping me company and chatting away and keeping me motivated and making me eat more. It's been fantastic. And that's what friends do. So I appreciate you all being here. Thank you, Ace. Thank you, thank you. I hope you sleep well. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, it's almost your nighttime, or it probably is your nighttime. Sleep well. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. And I love you all. And I will see you again soon. Ace, thank you very much for doing all the links. And Kirsty, even though I think Kirsty's gone to bed now, but I love you all. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you again in a couple of days out for our farm walk and talk tour. I'll see you later.